So while PlayStation Network is down for like 14 plus hours at this point, is actually getting a little bit concerning. I wanted to go over some of the more recent details regarding of Wonder Woman and Batman. So Monolith upcoming Wonder Woman game has been reported that it's gone through a major reboot, according to a new report from Jason Schreier of Bloomberg. At the same time, Rocksteady, the studio behind the Batman Arkham series, is apparently looking to return to making games about the Dark Knight. Despite the huge success of Hogwarts Legacy, which sold extremely well, Warner Bros. Games have been struggling with many failures in the recent years. The company's gaming division has had quite a hard time, as several of their recent projects have not performed as expected. One of the biggest disappointments for Warner Bros. Games came last year when they released Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. Many fans had high hopes for the game because it was developed by Rocksteady Studio themselves, the same team behind the beloved Batman Arkham games. However, Suicide Squad failed to impress critics and players alike, sales did not meet expectations, and the game was widely considered a failure. Unfortunately, the bad news doesn't actually stop there. Other Warner Bros. Games also struggled. Harry Potter Quidditch Champions game basically, which has meant to be capitalized on the popularity of the Hogwarts Legacy, did not perform well. Yet another game, Multiverses, a crossover fighting game featuring characters from the different Warner Bros. Properties, was also unsuccessful. On top of that, this game was initially released as a free-to-play title, but struggled to maintain a steady player base. Now it is set to shut down soon. All of these failures have led to the major financial loss for Warner Bros. Games. Reports suggest that the company has lost around $300 million in total due to the stupid missteps that they've made. A new report has provided details about the future of Warner Bros. Games and some of their upcoming projects. So the company is now looking for ways to recover from its recent struggles. However, it seems like the next two major DC games are still far from release. One of the biggest updates from the report is about Wonder Woman game, which was first announced in 2021. According to Bloomberg, the game was rebooted early last year of 2024 and has also undergone a leadership change. The original director of the game has been replaced, but it's not yet known who has taken over. Developing this game has already cost Warner Bros. Games as a staggering $100 million. Due to this reboot and the changes in direction, the game is still years away from being completed. In fact, there's even a chance that it might not even release at all. An original version of the Wonder Woman game was trying to bring back the Nemesis system, a gameplay mechanic that Monolith had successfully used in the Middle-earth games such as Shadow of Mordor and Shadow War. The Nemesis system allows enemies to remember past encounters with the player and evolve based on their experiences. In the first version of Wonder Woman game, the idea was that the Amazonian warrior would befriend enemies rather than just fight them. However, this concept has now been scrapped. Instead, the game is being redesigned as a more of a traditional action-adventure title. Despite these changes, there's still many problems with the game's development. The report mentions that there's just been leadership changes at Monolith Productions, and there's also technical difficulties with the game's development. Because of these issues, the future of the Wonder Woman game remains uncertain. At this point, no one knows for sure whether the game will ever be completed or even released. And then there's also provides some information about the other projects being worked on by different Warner Bros. Game studio. One of these studios is the WB Games Montreal, the team behind Gotham Knights. The studio had previously pitched ideas for two new games, one based on the DC anti-hero John Constantine and another based on The Flash. However, both of these projects were cancelled. The cancellation of the Flash game was reportedly linked to a poor performance of 2023's Flash movie, which starred Ezra Miller. The movie was a major box office failure, and this likely led to the decision to scrap the video game adaptation. Currently, WB Games Montreal is said to be helping with the development of Wonder Woman. However, the studio is also working on a separate project. According to reports, they are trying to pitch a new game, right, based on the Game of Thrones franchise. This means that the studio is juggling multiple projects at once, though nothing has been officially announced yet. As for Rocksteady Studios, the team responsible for the Batman Arkham series, the report states that they are looking to return to making single-player Batman games. However, if this project does happen, it will take several years to complete. And in other words, even if Rocksteady does go back into making Batman games, fans should not expect a follow-up to Batman Arkham Knight anytime soon. Overall, the report paints a rather grim picture for Warner Bros. Games. The company is clearly struggling, and there's a lot of uncertainty about its future projects. Adding to the chaos, Warner Bros. Games is currently undergoing leadership changes. Last month, the company president, David Haddad, I believe that's how you pronounce his name, announced that he would be stepping down. A new president has yet not been named, which leaves the company in a state of transition. Alright, despite all these challenges, there is one bright spot for Warner Bros. Games, Hogwarts Legacy. The game was a massive success when it was released, selling millions of copies worldwide. Because of this, a sequel is now in the development. The upcoming sequel is expected to connect in some ways to the plan of a Harry Potter TV series, which is set to premiere in sometime in 2026. However, there is no official release date for the game yet. Fans will have to wait for more details in the future. In the meantime, Warner Bros. Games might be planning to release more Hogwarts Legacy content soon. There are rumors that the special edition of the game features extra content is currently in the works. If true, this would give fans more reasons to revisit the Wizarding World while they wait for the sequel. Nevertheless, it is a little bit concerning since we still had to wait, 2 years, and yet we still have not seen anything relating to this. Like, I have heard that there's a definitive edition or a special edition of this. I don't know. The longer we wait, the less interested it will be for anybody to revisit the game once again. But again, I'm sure there will be some fans that would love to revisit it. Warner Bros. Games is in a very tough spot right now. Even though Hogwarts Legacy was a major hit, the company has suffered multiple failures in recent years. Games like Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, Harry Potter Quidditch Champions, and a Multiversus have not performed well, leading to huge financial losses. The Wonder Woman game, which was originally announced in 2021, has faced major development problems and is still years away from its release. There's even a possibility that it might not even be completed. Meanwhile, other projects at Warner Bros. Games have been cancelled, and the future of many of their upcoming games remains uncertain. On the bright side, Rocksteady is reportedly considering a return to making Batman games, and WB Games Montreal is working on a Game of Thrones project of some sort. However, both of these are still in the very early years of the stages and won't be ready anytime soon. For now, the best hope for Warner Bros. Games is the Hogwarts Legacy sequel, which is in development but does not yet have a release year. Until then, fans may have to wait patiently for more updates on the company's future projects. Thank you so much for watching, like and subscribe. See you guys all, and have a wonderful day.